Greetings, fellow Varn. Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to Norland, Episode 7, Zero Tolerance. Oh, the Star King has come to visit. Hopefully my positive relationship with the Star King will actually help to cheer me up. That might be helpful. And let's take a look at our warriors again. So we still have injuries. These are going to be resolved in about a half a day. And I'll just check the others to see if... yep, about half a day. So in about half a day, I should be all set to go attack the bandits, depending on whether or not I have the actual army and force size to do it. So one of the warriors I hired is going to be here in an hour. And then the other two in about a day and an hour. So I might want to go hit them in a day and an hour so that I have the quantity of forces enough to actually prevail. Because as you take time, the bandit camps will grow. So this bandit camp is grown enough that I'm going to have to deal with that. Good. Kleb and Averin are going on a date today. That should help. I'm going to be doing a kind of a big trade here because I'm buying holy rings. I'm buying all the holy rings that are currently being offered on the market, and the purpose of this is so that I can repair my relationship with Roy, hypothetically. And let's see, what else can I do? I'd hate to sell wood. A little bit of herb. And then I also bought some nicer food, hoping that he's the one that actually consumes it. So, down here in the market, I can do not sell meat and do not sell flavorful ale, so that the meat and flavorful ale that I just purchased is being reserved essentially for my leader. Or for someone that doesn't have to pay for what they consume. But at the moment, he's not hungry or thirsty enough to require it. Alright, the other thing that I was intending to do is to have him, with his new-found rings, go to the bishop. Oh, I don't need a blessing. So what I could do is confess my sins to the bishop, which will reduce... Actually, what? He doesn't really have any sins right now. He hasn't sinned recently. So no, I'm just going to hold on to these rings then. He previously had a bunch of stacked negatives from the rings, but not any longer. And unfortunately, there didn't seem to be a date going. There was supposed to be a date between them today, but there just wasn't. And let's fulfill our trade agreements, because I spent a whole lot of money, so we can make some of that back up. So Kleb's relationship to the bishop is not as bad as it once was. There still is the whole, he's agnostic. Kleb just needs to spend more time in the temples. So one thing I could do is to have Kleb start to preach sermons of faith in the temple. and that might help to repair his agnosticism so that Roy doesn't disregard him as like an enemy of the church. Alright, Club's going to refuse to do his task because he's in depression. But I'm keeping a close eye on his mood anyway. Cleansed of sin. And Averin now has a new strong desire for a reward. That's easy to do. I can have Kleb reward her with rings. He just purchased rings, so that kind of works out. And then I'm going to have them spend time with one another as a result. Coming off the tail end of giving her a ring, essentially. The prophecy will soon come true, the Yellow Fanatics. So that is nectar-dependent fanatics that are Kaiden arriving in the town. Alright. My sincere friend Kleb. The terms of our peace treaty has expired between us and the Star King. Got it. But we still have a trade agreement and a pretty good relationship, so I'm not too worried about having to redo that. And the Forest Bandits plan to attack soon as well. So they're gathering to come up against us. So it would be ideal for me to mobilize my forces soon. I'm still waiting, of course, on the mercenaries that I hired. The last two are coming in 7 hours. So in 7 hours, I will deploy them out. I am going to risk having Averin and Kleb go wolf hunting together. I'm sort of desperate for them to build up their relationship, and the risk of them getting scarred versus the benefit of them hunting together. I'd rather hunt together. Okay. A successful hunt. And a meaningful conversation. I would say it went well. Club walked away unharmed, and Averin walked away with 3 injuries that should clear up. I don't see that she has scars. How much content would I say this game has? Quite a bit. Whether it's worth the price tag or not really is up to you, but I think there's a lot of meat to the game already, and it's getting quite a lot of updates. Regular updates. So I would love to be able to solve Kleb's, like, oh, you actually don't do that right now. I'm going to have Kleb wait until I can buy some nicer, flavorful alcohol before he drinks, because that will help out a lot. The Star King's in a really bad mood, but, you know, he's not my dude, so I don't really care. Oops. So I'm selling up until I don't want to saturate the market with my goods, so I'm having to be careful about how much I sell to them. We do have some meat already, but I'm going to buy 2 booze from them. Alright, there we go. Trade. And then Kleb, go grab a drink. And hopefully it's a good one. Yep, it was the really tasty ale. And that's... look at his mood now. He still has that torturous desire hanging out over him, but all in all, he's in a much, much better mood than he was before. So those mercenaries did just show up, so let's go mobilize them. inverted sheep with a whole bunch of warriors. I feel like I'm missing some shields, but that's fine. We're armed and ready. And it's a 10 versus 10. Alright, average mood is... so we have 1 homeless, 4 unemployed, and mood is 57. Let's make the new rutabaga field down here. 2 rutabaga fields. Backward Runner has acquired the knowledge with conversation with Aberan of rye fields. Good. And here is the big battle. So these were the bandits terrorizing. I have 3 bowmen, and they have a whole bunch, so rushing them is going to be ideal. So we'll just close the gap and rush them. So we have better armor and weapons, so getting close will be in our advantage. Oh, we might not win this, though. Oh no, it's their commander's unconscious. No, it's going to come down to... I think this is Sheep himself. Oh, no, he's holding his own. Woo! We won that. Skin of our teeth. 3 of us died. 1 escaped. 1 ran away. Well, the bandit camp is cleared. We got a lot of prisoners and loot. And the Dust King no longer has grievances from that bandit camp raiding the trade caravans between us and the adjacent territories. Unfortunately, the trader is leaving, like, literally as the prisoners are getting here, which is just unfortunate timing. Ambitions achieved. The squad just returned, and with the mercenaries and the prisoners, we hit the population cap for growing our city up to first ambition. So Kleb now has Successful King plus 12 and Successful Hunt plus 12. And then everybody within the kingdom will have a mood benefit for a successful king. Because we had fulfilled our ambitions, and everybody in the kingdom now benefits from that. Not just Kleb. Now I have a horde of prisoners I have to deal with. As well as potentially army members that are worse for wear. I'm checking now. See if any of them have permanent injuries. I don't think any of them do. Nope. Well, that went well. Next time the caravan comes, I'll probably have to buy medical salves, more of them. I don't know how to manufacture them just yet, and our wounds become infected when we get injured occasionally, so it's useful to stockpile them, as we just used 3 of them up. In fact, some of the people using them up might even be prisoners with infected wounds and not our own people. Alright, warnings. We need additional temples. So each temple can only accommodate 50 people. So once you have greater than 50 people, you need at least 2 temples to house everybody. So let's get a second temple out. And I'll plop it right next to the first one. Colin grew up and became a teenager. So Colin is now 12. I would say he's a preteen, if anything. But that's going to allow him to do some other things. So one, he can start learning books on his own. And one of the advantages of this is he is obviously going to be the heir apparent. He's the oldest son. Backward Runner is a female, too, and a small child. So he, the way it works is like, your daughters get married off if you marry them and get sent away, whereas your sons bring in spouses. So, your sons... Well, your daughters are just as much worth investing in if you don't marry them off, which there's a bit of a strategy to say that they shouldn't. My point is that Colin should start learning books that are necessary for him to carry on all of the technology that we've unlocked. So taking a look at his stats here, he has an intelligence of 6, so he can manage like the gray books. So I'm going to have him learn mining. I want him to learn stuff that others don't know, because there will be a possibility of Kleb and Averin passing on their knowledge to Colin. So there's less of a point for Colin to learn anything currently known by them, because they can have wise conversations and have him teach, have them teach him that stuff for free. So a character has grown up. Now they can study books in the knowledge menu, and it says that he's not learning, not receiving an education, but that's not true. Averin is still doing that. Abandoned by parents? So the abandoned by parents mood modifier is just that he hasn't spent time with them recently. So I can just say, like, social spend time with... This time I'm going to do Kleb, because he has a burning desire. But if not... Alright, so we now have the Prophecy of the Yellow Fanatics. Got it. So there's going to be, a lot of nectar, which is an addictive drug. Nectar addicted people in our town coming in that needs to be dealt with. And they're all Kaiden. They're not here yet, but they will be soon. And Wind Peak is offering to lend us money too. I don't need them to. Alright, looking at mercenaries. I have enough money for one more high-skilled Varn mercenary. Sounds good to me. At some point, I'm going to want a training field to be able to have them train up themselves, but for now, I can just rely on mercenaries. Alright. Kleb's doing all of his inspections because a lot of them ran out of orders. And his mood is, like, pretty decent, although his desire for intimacy is, like, burning a hole through his brain. It'd be really good if you went on a date. And homelessness is a frequent negative thought. So, although a lot of the people coming in are going to be, they're going to be Kaiden and probably have to be executed, it would not be a bad idea to set up another home once I have the wood for it. Starstream consequences of the war. The result of the war in the neighboring province of Starstream, immigration from there has increased. So there's going to be an uptick of refugees belonging to the Varn culture. Fine by me. And then the Holy Caravan will sell rye, a resource heavily traded by the province, at 2 times the price. So the price for rye has gone up. Oh, right. These don't have management yet. We had just built them. In my defense. And that should dramatically ramp up our rutabaga quantity so that we can trade our trade agreements and not really have to worry about shortages. And Kleb's about to finish studying hop fields for beer, yes. Okay. So, 4 Kaiden people just arrived. And, well, yeah, they are not gonna fare very well in our kingdom. Even though they're not guilty, Kleb's just like, off with your head. He's gonna be a busy dude for the next few days. Lopping off heads. We also have 2... what are they? 2 Kaiden vagabonds. You know what? Hold on. Let's kill the vagabonds first. Well, whatever. We're already in the process of killing this guy. So, let's do it. Alright, 1 down, and 3 to go. So here's a Kaiden bandit going to the scaffold. And here's another one. Oh no, that's a warrior. Oh, that was a mask of shame. Nope. Incorrect. Let's try that again. We threw a mask of shame on his head, and now we're chopping that mask of shame off his head. There we go. That's better. Where'd the other one go? I saw him in the crowd a second ago. He probably just like was like, oh, that's what's happening to us? I'm out of here. Is he in the temple? No. Oh yeah, here he is. Punish execution. There's gonna be a lot of terror going on for a bit, but it's needed. So here's a no, where was it? Jobless Kaiden. All right, there you are, and you're a nectar addict. So you're also going to be executed. Sorry, dude. Not that sorry. I think I see another one here too, in the crowd. Where are you? It's so hard to click on them. There you are. It's a busy day. I feel like a little bit like Robespierre. If you know, you know. Alright, any other Kaiden? So let's see. There's one more Kaiden somewhere in our kingdom. Where might he be? In a bed somewhere? Speaking of Kaiden, Kaiden, thank you for the resub. I hope you avoid the executioner's axe. Yeah, there is one more Kaiden somewhere. My the people working at the scaffold will automatically oh, here he is. Will automatically round up all the Kaiden and throw Mask of Shame on them. But what I can do is have them just fully execute them. I would rather just do that myself, though. And, yeah, terror amongst the peasants, I know. But mostly they're just happy. Most of my peasants are like, yeah, that was fun. That was fun to watch. The fun to watch greatly outweighs the whole terror that I'm incurring, so, you know. That's fine. Ooh, and finally, Kleb is getting his little desire for intimacy fulfilled. After a hard days of work, lopping heads off. Yeah, form a bond, please. In fact... Oh, it's on cooldown. Yeah, plus he, like, is blackout drunk. Alright, the new temple is still in progress. Needs a little bit more wood delivered. And... let's see... Yellow Fanatics. For 5 more days. Man, these are going to be busy days. I would like to have Kleb finish off the studying the hop field and beer. So even if Kleb's going to be super busy today, I'm going to have him dip into the library briefly to try to get some library going. So the current priority right now is deal with the nectar addicts. That's definitely going to tie my hands for a bit. At what age does children need their own houses? 18. But maybe. Not always. Because sometimes you, it's not always that they do. Ooh! Starstream is independent. Invite to alliance. With Avaren. Because, Kleb is a little busy today. Killing people. And Kleb just learned Hopfield and Beer. So next he will work towards fertilize correctly, which reduces the amount of wood needed to revitalize a field. With that in mind, this rutabaga field I'm going to delete, and this rutabaga field I'm going to delete. And once I have the wood, I'm going to replace it with a hops field and a rye field. They were just not recently inspected, so I figured they would be the ones to go. Okay, Colin just learned mine. So let's have Colin learn keep... actually... Let's have you learn training grounds. Would it help to rebuild the woodcutters closer to the trees? I could move them closer to the trees. The thing is, as they move farther away from the warehouse, it's a balancing act between traveling out to the closest tree and traveling over to the warehouse. Conflict between neighbors. There's conflict between the Dust King and the Spark King. Obviously I'm going to support the Dust King, because he's my own ally. So we might want to send someone out to go mediate that situation soon. And then there are new forest bandits. Got it. And Starstream got attacked by forest bandits. That's not good, because we're trying to make them an ally. So I might want to go out to this camp of forest bandits out here and deal with them for Starstream, because they would be really, really happy if I did that. King's current ambitions. I'm gonna pick this for myself. I think it's very unlikely that I get up to 5 allied provinces, so I'm gonna continue with fertile, as that's far more reasonable of a goal. Alright, we're getting new tributes. And then let's check in on our army. So 1 injury, 0 injuries, 3 injuries. So we'd still have some injuries for about 10 hours on you, and then 10 hours. So in about 10 hours I can go bandit hunting. So right now it is day 15, 12, it's noon of day 15. So tonight I can go bandit hunting. I mean, I could do now, but they're injured, so I shouldn't. Check prisoners for fun? No. So the prisoners are all... The reason I don't want to do that is the prisoners are all, they're all vagabonds, and freeing them wouldn't have them become actual peasants. They would have them become warriors, but they would be warriors that have morale negatives as being ex-vagabonds. So I'm just not that interested in having vagabond warriors. So I'm sure there are some prisoners that fulfill the proper requirements of being Varn, but I just don't need backstabbing Varn prisoners. Like this guy is a Varn prisoner with a combat of 3, but I'd rather just sell them for money. Do I still have enough gear for the warriors? No, I don't. And I'm waiting on the trade caravan to fix that. So the results. I greet you, Kleb. It actually wasn't Kleb. I sent my, I sent Averin instead. We formed an alliance with the Star King. So now we have a 4-piece alliance. Actually, the ambition of a 5-piece alliance wouldn't be impossible if we wrapped Moonlake or Crystal Light into our alliance. I think we'd have to go against Stardale for that, and Stardale has a pretty big military. But yeah, we have an alliance with all of our adjacent territories, and then also active trade agreements with them as well. So I'm going to send Averin, who's already traveling, out to support the Dusk King in their argument against the Sparks King. Can I explain more about passing down knowledge? Where do the books come from? So, books come from 2 things. You can, well, yeah, primarily 2 ways. You can buy books from the Holy Caravans, or you can be inspired to learn new things, generally from having high intelligence. So if you take a look at the intelligence here, the higher your intelligence, the more likelihood you are to have an insight. And insights will give you, essentially, it won't give you a book, but it will give you the knowledge that the book otherwise would contain. And then you can have the person that has that insight transcribe that insight with paper into a book. So if Averin, for instance, who has particularly high intelligence, if she got an insight, let's say about efficient hops fields, she could then spend time in the library using 3 paper to make that inspiration into a book. And the way to transfer knowledge is either to spend time in the library, like Kleb and Colin are doing, studying a book to learn it, to be able to put use to it. So in the bottom right here, you can see Colin is studying Training Grounds and is 29% complete, and Kleb is studying Fertilize correctly, and he's 1% complete. The other way to transfer knowledge is wise chat. So if I take the action of social wise conversation, I can have a wise conversation with someone and we share knowledge between us. And the success of a wise conversation goes up as you become more intelligent and elderly. So when Kleb and Averin go into their sort of golden years, managing them to share as much wise conversation with Colin as possible is going to be ideal, because Colin is the heir apparent, or will eventually become the heir apparent, and will benefit from that more than anyone else. Alright, the trader is in. And I want to trade, like, immediately, because I have all these prisoners that I want to get off my hands. So I'm not even going to wait for the trader to come to the hall. I'm just like, run out to him now! There we go. Get rid of all of these prisoners. And that definitely pays the bills. Currently, I have very few weapons, because a lot of my weapons got destroyed in the last fight. So, I'm going to buy some... buy some weapons. And... armor, which is going to cost a ton. So to make up the difference of cost, I'll sell some extra moonshine that I have, an extra, oh, the trade window is like literally full. So I'll sell more herbs and rutabaga once we're done trading. So I just spent 800 gold. And the 800 gold is to outfit my military. So now I have 10 armor, 8 bows, 6 spears, and a mace, and 7 shields. I want to buy actually one more shield. So buy... Oh, no, they're out of shields. Okay, that's fine. So then let's flood the market with a rutabaga. And sell a few more herbs. And that's it. The reason I'm not selling iron is somewhat of a finite resource. Iron reserves deplete over time, so I don't like parting with iron. Because you eventually run out of it, so it's bad to sell it. Selling renewable resources makes a lot more sense. Alright, so we have a lot more arms and armor. I can definitely consider heading out to clear some bandit camps, which would be a very friendly and beneficial thing to do. So let's go do that. I have an army of 7, and everyone in the army will have shields, armor, and weapons. So I'm going to go with a no-bow army. So 8 total with no bows. Which means we can absolutely rush archers and slaughter them. That looks pretty good. Pretty good, pretty good. So let's go out to this camp of forest bandits and clear it for our ally, the Starstream and Star King. And it's also adjacent to another camp of forest bandits, so it's possible that I do both, depending on injuries and success. Thank you for tuning in to Norland, which originally streamed live on Twitch as a marathon August 17th and August 18th. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below, but please keep in mind that this episode was cut from a marathon, meaning that feedback cannot be incorporated. If you would like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhadamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams, and if you would like to join my online gaming community on Discord, Rhadamant.com has a link to it, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching, and a special thank you to my Patreon patrons, Twitch subscribers, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch you next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow Varn.